What's up everyone, Max Power here and welcome back to the arena. And this time around we've got another deck build for you. This time we're going to bring in Rapid Strike URshifu VMax, the Rapid Strike version, and we're going to have it with the Inteleon build. Now if you guys like these type of videos, as always, thank you so much for the support. Please like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to go ahead and get right into it. The reason you would want to run URshifu is because of its amazing attacks. Here you see it's Gale Thrust. This Pokemon moves from your bench to the active spot. It does 120 more damage on top of the 30. So that means 150 if you're coming in from the bench for just one energy. It's very great. On top of its second attack, which is actually the main one, G-Max Rapid Flow, discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. If you pair this with a lot of tech cards, like for example, Telescopic Sight, with your Passimian and other things, you can dish out to 150, maybe even 180 damage. This is impressive. And think about it, if you're also using it against VMAX in particular, those are the heavy hitters you want to go ahead and strike back on your own. If they're not VMAXs, they won't do that much because it won't be boosted from Telescopic Sight or Passimian, but that doesn't mean they're not also useful. Now, of course, in order to run these bad boys, you got to have 3 or 4 Rapid Strike URshifu Vs. They're pretty useful because it's one attack is strafe. For 1 energy, you get to slap 30 and you get to swap with one of your other bench Pokemon. Rapid Strike is known for just a lot of rotation, pivoting, swapping your active for your bench. It gets that flow going to help the, that strategy going in your game. Both have 2 retreat costs, so it's good. Tower of Waters can help them to swap out, as well as Air Balloon. Second attack here is 100 Furious Blows. For 3 energy, you do 150 damage. It's not too bad, actually, if you think about it, if you need a backup plan. Now, what are some of the tech cards you're going to be running for this deck in order to make it run and flow? Remoraid, Rapid Strike. Not so much because of the Remoraid itself, but because it is indeed a Rapid Strike attack, and also because you're going to be needing it to run these dudes Octillery. I find that a 2-2 line is actually pretty good. This is actually one of your main engines. Rapid Strike Search. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for a Rapid Strike card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. This can be any of the Pokemon aforementioned, Rapid Strike URshifu, the V or the VMAX, another Remoraid if you want to set up another Octillery. If you want to get your Sobbles going, you can search those. You can search for Rapid Strike Energy, any of your trainer cards, items, any of those things that definitely use that. It's going to be very helpful for you guys. Now, the main component here, as you can see in the description of the video, is going to be Sobbles. The Rapid Strike Sobbles are always going to be the best one, mainly because of the fact that it is a Rapid Strike, so it gets the pluses from having that. And also its Keep Calling ability. Search your deck for up to 3 Rapid Strike basic Pokemon and put them in your bench. Doesn't get any simpler than that. It's going to help you load up your bench. If you haven't already gotten those guys lined up, you can get your URshifus going, your Remoraids, other Sobbles, maybe even other things that you might want. Now, the reason we're running Sobbles is not just because of them, but because of these bad boys right here, Drizzile with the Shady Dealings. These are a pretty penny to come across, even if you try to buy them as singles online. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for a trainer card, add it to your hand. Any trainer, these things are sick. This is definitely an engine because it allows your deck to just flow. You can put any trainer cards you want as long as it helps execute your strategy. Drizzile will pluck them up for you and add them to your hand as you see fit. It's one thing to say, hey, go ahead and add them in, and another to see the success, because when you're in the middle of the game, that's when you see how versatile this deck really is if you run it this way. Now, you're going to evolve these two into 2 Inteleons, the quick shooting kind, which are the Rapid Strike. These are easy to help snipe out. Once you've already dished out a lot of damage to your opponent, in particular your opponent's bench Pokemon, like through URshifu, this is going to help put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If you have 2, that's 40 damage, 4 damage counters per turn. Pretty much the deadly combination, a must-have for any deck running Sobbles or even Rapid Strike. And then finally, you're going to have 1 Shady Dealings Inteleon. It's the same thing as the Drizzile, but then when you evolve into this one, you get to search your deck for 2 trainer cards. You never know when you're in a bind how useful this can actually be, because it's going to help you out so much. especially if you're coming from behind or you feel like you're in a pinch or you're about to lose. That can definitely help you a lot. Now, rounding off the tech cards, we got one more. This is the last Rapid Strike one, Passimian. Very useful because of its ability Throwing Coach. Your Rapid Strike Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's bench V and bench GX. GX is only relevant if you're doing expanded, but V, what decks aren't running V Pokemon, guys, today? A lot of them are. This is very useful because, again, this with Telescopic Sight, with your Rapid Strike Urshifu, you're going to be dealing up to 180 damage times 2. That's 360 damage output. Very, very high damage output. More than Single Strike URshifu VMax. Put it that way. The last tech card here is going to be Crobat V. Why not? You get to search, or not search, you get to draw cards until you have 6 in your hand. If you have less, well, it's going to be very useful. You can probably swap this card out and maybe add in another Sobble, because in this case we only have 3. The best thing to do is probably try to add 4, but in this case it was just a little tight, so I mean, what could you do? But hey, that's for you guys back home to mess around with. And one thing I want to mention, guys, this is not original to me, this deck. I'm actually very dumb when it comes to putting decks together. I've actually drawn a lot of inspiration from Zapdos TCG. He will be copied in the description somewhere because the man's a G. He's been playing the game forever and ever. European player, he's amazing, and he's also got great YouTube videos. Check him out, guys. Now to start with the trainer cards, we're going to be playing 4 Professor's Research. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. This is the best way to just get your flow going if you're stuck in a rut. Maybe you need a fresh hand, maybe you just need more cards. Maybe you're already ahead in the game and you just need to go ahead and seal the deal or play a little more aggressively. Professor's Research helps you do that by just drawing cards out of your deck. Next up is Marnie. So many people love Marnie, so many people hate Marnie. You get to shuffle your cards back into your deck as well as your opponents. You draw 5, they draw 4. This can help you and this can jam them. Very simply put, very useful. It could sometimes backfire, but hey, that's just very much in the moment. You figure out if it's more worth it for you or if it's more beneficial to your opponent. Then sometimes it's better to just go with the research, hold off on doing Marnie so that you don't help them out, especially if they have a larger or lesser hand size. If they have a larger hand size, run Marnie. Maybe they lose stuff that they needed. Next up is Boss's Orders. These 3 supporters are pretty much super essential. And this one, of course, switch your opponent's bench Pokemon with your active. If you're in the late game and you just need to get the last clutch knockout, that's what you go ahead and do. Put down Boss's Orders, knock out whoever you need. Maybe stuff that you've already damaged with your Urshifu and your Inteleon. Boom, game. Next up is going to be, that'll do it all for the supporters. Next up are the item cards. We've got here 4 Quick Balls. Quick Balls are pretty much useful in any deck. In particular because you get to discard a card from your hand and search your deck for any one basic Pokemon, add it to your hand. There are similar cards now like Ultra Ball that do the same thing, but if you discard 2 cards, you can add any Pokemon, basic, evolution, whoever. But Quick Ball is still very essential and useful, guys. So definitely if you have any Quick Balls, you might want to consider adding these to your deck, especially if you're running a lot of basic Pokemon. Another card that's useful for the same reason is Level Ball. And this is actually a nice freebie to add because you get to go ahead and search your deck for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less, add it to your hand. It could be a basic, could be an evolution. It could help bring out your Sobbles, your Drizzles, your Remoraid's, and just get that flow going, especially with all the other cards you've already added. Evolution Incense can help you do similar, but you just search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, add it to your hand. If in case you guys are stuck, you need a little more momentum going, you go ahead and play Evolution Incense, bust out your Urshifu, Artillery, Inteleon, Drizzle, whoever you need. We don't have much left, guys, and again, I want to thank you for checking out the video. If you like the content, please let me know down below. Add it in the comments. What do you think of this deck? Have you experienced playing with this deck at all? Against friends? Have you used it yourself? Do you have any slight tweaks you would do to it? Let me know. Also, let me know if there's other decks you would like for me to cover or consider with these as well. I'd greatly appreciate it. Telescopic Sight. This is the magic card we were talking about. As if it was Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Magic card. The attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's bench, V, and GX Pokemon. It's the same thing as the Passimian, but now it's in an item card, and those abilities stack. That's plus 60 to the 120 damage you're already doing per Pokemon. So that's a high damage output, guys. Now, Fan of Waves. This is probably the least necessary card in the deck, but if you're running against someone that's playing Special Energy, it'll put that Special Energy attached to their Pokemon, put it at the bottom of the deck. It could jam them in a very tight spot, especially if you're behind or if you're already, you know, getting aggressive against them. It's something that might help you out a lot. So, kind of wish I would have slid this over a bit, but hey, I'm a little too late for that, guys. So sorry. But anyway, we'll keep going here with our deck build. And let's just see if I can slide this over a bit. Perfect. Now, stadium cards. We're only running these three, which are Tower of Waters. Very useful in any Rapid Strike deck, but even more so because if you're going to retreat your Rapid Strike Pokemon, you get to do it for 2 less colorless energy. So that means pretty much anything here. Nothing here has 3. Everything has at least 2 energy to retreat. You can do so for free, with the exception of Crobat because it's not a Rapid Strike, but hey, you don't need to too often. If in case, you could always use Escape Rope. Help swap out your opponent's Pokemon while you do yours as well. They have to choose. Sometimes they can flip the script on them, and it is very useful because it can catch them off guard. We got Air Balloon. Same thing as with Tower of Waters, but it just reduces the retreat cost by 2 colorless energy. If in case, for example, like the Crobat, just add it right there. It'll get you out of a bind if in case someone bosses up your Crobat or something like that. You can get out and recover. And now, last but not least, guys, we got two categories, which are your energy and special energy. As you can see here, Rapid Strike Energy. This is the bread and butter of this deck. Is what makes Urshifu move so quickly. If it wasn't for that, then there would be no way for it to run and go. But it's definitely something that you want to consider and add to your decks. If in case you're in a bind, you can search it with Rapid Strike Search with your Octillery. You can bust it out with your Drizzle. You can bring out other stuff which can help you search for your energy, like a Professor's Research. You probably draw into 1 or 2 of them. Boom, you get your strategy going. Last but not least, we're going to run some regular energies. We're going to do 5 fighting. A lot of the pros will probably run like 2 or 3, but I don't consider myself a pro. I've started playtesting this deck very recently. I do find a lot of success with it, but it's something that's very useful. And I think, hey, your 4 Rapid Strike energy, that's a cost of 8 plus your 5. That's about 9 energy. That's not bad, and you're around 10. If it's really, really efficient with energy cards, then maybe you don't need as many, but that's something you can test out for yourself and see if you want to add or subtract some of the regular energies. Excuse the mess up there, guys, but that's pretty much everything. Let me know what you think of this deck. I've had a lot of success just playing this with, with friends, play testing it out. It's been very successful build. It just busts out, helps sets up very easily, very smoothly, quickly, and you get those W's very quickly, guys. Once again, thank you very much for checking out the channel. We're going to be doing a few more deck builds. I did get this new equipment to help get a better vantage point of the deck. Let me actually zoom out a little bit. So there, you see everything here. And until the next time, guys, have a great one, and thank you so much.